Formula 1 World Champion Jenson Button, welcome. We thought we'd drag you away from all the crowds and to give you some time out to have a seat and have a chat to you. Well done on last year. Obviously, everyone's talking about your move to McLaren and changing teams, one thing and another, and questioning whether you've made that right decision. But was part of the motivation the fact that because you've clinched the title, you now wanted to go on to another challenge?
Yes, it was. You know, I crossed the line in Brazil, and all my dreams came true, I suppose, and everything I'd worked for so many years. And for me, in 2009, to win the World Championship with a team I'd worked with for so many years was very special. And the next day, I was thinking to myself, please just enjoy this moment, because this is so big, something you've worked so hard for. But I found it very difficult, and already I was starting to look forward to the future. And you know, I was thinking, I've achieved what I set out to do. What do I do now, and what's the next challenge? And that's when I decided I needed to have a new challenge, and that new challenge was going to be with a different team, up alongside a world champion. So I decided to move to the Vodafone McLaren Mercedes team, and alongside Lewis Hamilton. And I must say, it's kept me so motivated, and I've got such a drive to succeed in 2010. I'm not saying I wouldn't have if I'd stayed where I was, but at the moment I just feel I'm so excited about this new season, more so than 2009. So I've been working very, very hard to feel that I'm part of the team at McLaren. I've been there a few times, and been away in Finland with certain people from the team. And it's been good so far. And normally your biggest problem is the engineer, getting to know your engineer. Worked with my previous engineer for 7 years. But I feel that we're getting to grips with it, and we're understanding each other very quickly.
Clearly this year is very different to the situation and emotions you were having last year at this time. Do you think all of that has contributed to obviously clinching that title as well, to give you that extra edge to go, do you know what, I'm just going to go for this?
Yes, I think difficult times, you can look at it in two ways. One way is that it's very negative and there's no coming back, or you can try and take a positive from it and learn from the difficult times and learn from other people's mistakes and also your mistakes, and move forward. And we had to do that a lot in 2009 because it started very well. The middle of the season was more difficult, and the end was obviously fantastic. So yes, it was a season that I learned so much, and even with racing and the way that we go about racing, I learned so much in the way that we do the strategies, and the way that when you're leading a championship, it's a very different situation than being chased. You act in a very different way, and maybe we're a little bit conservative in certain areas. But it makes me a much stronger person, and I come into 2010 as a stronger person. I've achieved so much in 2009, and my confidence has grown a lot since 2009. So I'm in a good position, and you know, I never make the winters easy for myself. You know, 12, 14 months ago I didn't think I'd be racing in 2009, and this winter I've been spending a lot of it working out, you know, thinking about 2010 and making my move and my switch and focusing on this year.
Now, a number of changes for this year. Obviously there's a lot of new teams coming in. How do you think that'll affect it?
It's going to be interesting because Formula 1 is a very competitive sport. You're at the pinnacle of motorsport, and a lot of the teams that are racing or were racing in 2009 have been around for a long time. Even Force India, the team itself, has been around for a long time. So you know, it was Jordan in the past. So it's going to be difficult for the new teams, I think. But fair play to them for giving it a shot, because being a part of the Formula 1 circus is very special, and if they can make it work, it's very, very impressive. So I think the first few races for them will be difficult, and they'll take a while to adjust to the way that Formula 1 is. But I think you'll see a big difference in lap times from the front to the back. But obviously they're going to work their hardest to move a lot closer, and a lot of the new teams have got experienced drivers, which is great, and they're going to need that for sure. But hopefully in a couple of years they'll be, or a year or so, they'll be getting closer and closer. But it is very difficult, and I'm sure they know that. But there's a lot of differences in the rules from the past. which is helping them quite a bit, and it will help them to succeed in the future.
Well, a number of new faces for you to compete against, but obviously one very well-known face coming back into the mix in Michael Schumacher. Are you looking forward to that?
Yeah, Michael's achieved so much. You know, he's 7 times world champion. I don't even need to say that when I say Michael Schumacher. Everyone knows that. But he's 41 years old. People are saying, will he still have it in him 3 years out of racing? Of course he will. He's not going to lose it. You know, as long as he's fit enough, mentally strong enough, which Michael I think is, he will be competitive. You don't suddenly lose it after 3 years. So he'll be there fighting at the front, and I think he'll be ready for the first race. He wouldn't be taking part if he didn't think he was going to be quick.